The risk-reward trade-off is an essential component to every investment decision. You see, the bigger the return or the higher the profit that's desired, the greater the possibility of loss. The greater the possibility of losing something, the greater the risk. Will the reward be worth the risk? But you may ask, is there a risk-reward trade-off serving God? Well, we might recall that when Jesus was calling his disciples to follow him, the scriptures say that very quickly they abandoned their nets. They left everything behind, their families, their fishing business, and they followed Jesus and made that their prime vocation. But later, Peter was recalling that decision, and he asked Jesus at Matthew chapter 19, verse 27, he said, "Look, we've left all things behind and followed you. What then will there be for us?" In other words, we've taken a huge risk. Will there be a reward? At times, have you felt that way? What have you sacrificed to follow Jesus? Maybe you've left behind a luxurious lifestyle, fortune, fame. Maybe you've risked friends. Maybe you've sacrificed family to serve Jehovah. Will Jehovah reward you? This symposium is designed to strengthen your faith that Jehovah can and will reward any risk, reward any sacrifice you've made to serve him. We're going to look at a few very courageous servants of God. And each part of the symposium, let's notice what they risked, how they were rewarded, and 3, the lesson for us. Our first example is that of the 3 Hebrews exiled in Babylon. As we remember, King Nebuchadnezzar took the finest of the Hebrew young men to Babylon, and immediately a battle for their young minds began. They were given the very best of the Babylonian secular and religious education. They were taught the writing in the tongue of the Chaldeans. Their Hebrew names, which all praised God, were stripped, and they were given Babylonian names, one that praised the Babylonian gods. But there was another request of the king. He wanted them to get used to that posh, luxurious Babylonian court lifestyle, and to do that, he wanted them to eat from his table all of his delicacies and his drinking wine. But there was a problem for the young Hebrews. See, they knew most of that food was unclean, or maybe even sacrificed to idols. And so, they took a risk. Please read with me Daniel chapter 1, verses 11 through 13. It says, "But Daniel said to the guardian whom the principal court official had appointed over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, please test your servants for 10 days, and let us be given some vegetables to eat and water to drink, and compare our appearance with the appearance of the Jews who are eating the king's delicacies. Deal with your servants according to what you see." They risked angering the king and losing a very favored status in Babylon. And it may be that even some of the high officials, maybe other Hebrew youths, were critical of them, encouraging them to eat of these delicacies because they would lose out on something in Babylon, maybe getting ahead in that system. These young men refused to be molded by that ungodly system. Their parents had inspired courage in them as they were young ones. But a greater risk came later. King Nebuchadnezzar had set up an immense image on the plains of Dura, and anyone who was someone in the Babylonian Empire was commanded to come, to bow down, and worship this image at its inauguration. The penalty or risk for not bowing down, they'd be thrown into a furnace. Even when given a chance to change their mind, they refused to give their allegiance to anyone but Jehovah. And so they were thrown in a superheated furnace. You might say that they laid it all on the line. They risked it all. They went all in on this decision. Were they rewarded? How were they rewarded? Remember the risk they took to eat of another diet? The scriptures say that after 10 days, their appearance was better and healthier than all the other youths. And what about that risk they took to not bow down to the image? Please read with me Daniel chapter 3, verse 27. The satraps, prefects, governors, and the high officials of the king were assembled, and they saw that the fire had no effect on the bodies of these men. Not a hair of their heads had been singed. Their cloaks looked no different. There was not even the smell of fire on them. That furnace was heated 7 times hotter than before. In fact, the strapping men who threw the 3 Hebrews into the fire, their lives were taken by this fire. And yet, we read, not even the smell of fire was on them. Jehovah protected them. He rewarded them physically. But he also rewarded them spiritually. They received knowledge and insight. They were given vision and dreams. And later, they were used to teach the king a very powerful lesson on the issue of universal sovereignty. Yes, they took big risks, and they were rewarded. Friends, what are the lessons for us? First of all, there is a battle for our minds every day in this world, and we must not allow the world to assimilate us. We must not allow the world to shape our thinking. Every one of us are foreigners. We are temporary residents in this wicked system, and because of that, we do get ridiculed. Please, don't let your peers pressure you to disappointing Jehovah. And in time, Jehovah may reward you with the respect of maybe your classmates, your workmates, and your peers. A second lesson, parents, inspire courage in your young children with historical accounts like that of Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. And then in turn, your children will make you proud, whether they be by your side or off at school or on another venture. And part of your reward will be admiring their courage and their faithfulness. And 3, we all have to be willing to forego advantages in this world, and we have to concentrate on staying politically neutral and devoted solely to Jehovah. This means persecution and tribulation will come. But we take heart of the words of 1 Peter chapter 4, where it says, don't be surprised about the trials that are coming, that you're going to be experiencing, as something strange was happening to you. We expect it as followers of Christ. But verse 14 of 1 Peter 4 says, if you are being reproached for the name of the Christ, you are happy because the Spirit of glory, yes, the Spirit of God, is resting upon you. Jehovah will indeed reward any risk you take to serve him. Now we may ask, are there other ones like the 3 young Hebrews in this audience who have courageously stood up for Jehovah? Many of you young ones are to be commended for your courageous stand. But for right now, we're going to talk to Yasmeen from the Cedar Crest, Pennsylvania congregation. And Yasmeen, could you tell us a little bit about the situation you found yourself in?
Before being transferred to trade school, and at that time we would always have to do the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. And one particular day, one of my teachers called me out in front of everyone for not doing the pledge.
And so what did the teacher tell you?
Well, he yelled at me and said that I was being disrespectful to my country, and he said that I was being rude. And he also said that I should be reciting the pledge along with everybody else.
Wow. So you said it was in front of the auditorium. About how many of your classmates are there?
There was about 400 students there.
400 students. So you felt much like those 3 young Hebrews on the plains of Dura. Yasmeen, what were you willing to risk?
I would be willing to risk anything for Jehovah. It didn't matter to me if I got in trouble at school or faced consequences. I wanted to be determined to not do the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, and I wanted to
of your peers. So what helped you to be courageous in that situation?
In that situation, what I feel helped me to be courageous was remembering others who took a stand, and I knew that Chola would be proud of me for taking a stand. I knew he was watching, and I wanted to not let the fear of man get the best of me. And I also thought of others, like the 3 Hebrews, and that helped me to stay strong. I wasn't scared at all.
That's a great example. Yasmeen, how were you rewarded?
Chola has rewarded me because I was able to stand my ground, and I knew that he was watching and I was proud of myself. And another reward I received was being able to give a witness to others. After that incident, a lot of my fellow classmates asked me why I didn't do the pledge, and I got to tell them about Chola.
Our sister, we thank you for your fine example. Brothers and sisters, we urge all of you, please imitate the courage of Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Their outstanding of courage is still shining today, and they will soon stand up to receive even further rewards. Jehovah has not forgotten them, and as you imitate their courage, be assured Jehovah will never forget you. Most definitely, he will reward any risk you have taken to serve him. Now, in the final part of this symposium, the next part of this symposium, let's learn how to